Yep. So we're heading off to the dyno now just to sort of see air-fuel ratios on the motor and see what the ignition timing's doing. I've got a gut feeling it's running rich, and perhaps the Dizzy's not advancing timing through the rev range. The car doesn't feel sluggish, but it's also really light, so it's kind of a bit of a misconception, I guess. Being such a light car, the motor might not be performing as well as it could, and we're not recognising it because the car's so light. So they're just a hunch. We'll chuck it on the dyno. The numbers will tell us, you know. Dynos don't have preferences. They don't lie to you. So it's going to be great. I'm going to predict 65 kilowatts at the wheels. 62 kilowatts at the wheels. As far as we know, it's a standard 4AG. It's just got the carbs on it and obviously the exhaust. So it will be flowing a bit more air, but I suspect it's not running as good as it possibly could. So it's going to be interesting. We'll spin it on the rollers and get some information. Just got back from the dyno, excellent session, just a quick couple of rips. Went really well. Things that I suspected are true, got a couple of things wrong, but it's too damn hot in this car, so let's jump in the workshop, have a look at some data. Got some numbers, got some facts, let's have a look, let's go over it. So the number everybody loves to know to start with, we made 75 kilowatts at the wheels. We did that at about 6,200 RPM. So I was a bit off. I said 62, so pretty healthy. Having a good chat to my mate Max. Interesting fact is the car's been sitting in the shed for 20 years. So the 4AG that's in it is quite potentially a fairly low kilometre 4AG and in pretty healthy condition. So these things redline at 7.6 factory, and we're making peak power at 6.2, and we'll have a look at that. But yeah, 75 kilowatt, I'm pretty happy with that. Things we're not happy with, and this is what I really wanted to see. We've got our AFR here, or our air-fuel ratio, and this is just absolutely horrendous. So it's a wideband sensor that you would have seen in the exhaust pipe in the video clip there, and look, even though it's wideband, it's not reading past 10, so we're maxing this thing out. It's just so filthy and rich. The issue with that is if you've got more fuel in the combustion chamber, you can't have as much air, therefore you don't make as much power. So for an NA car like this, I would want to be seeing 13:1 or like 0.98 lambda, that sort of stuff. This is just absolutely shocking. So we need to get some more jets for the carbies. So we're running a 180 jet. I sent that through to the guy who runs the dyno, and he was just laughing. He's just like, dude, this thing's just going to be maxed out. And he was right. So quite a knowledgeable fella. So we need to drop back down to like a 150 jet, maybe 155, 160. I'll try and get a collection, and we'll head back and chuck some jets through it and see if we can get that much flatter and much nicer. So apparently the wave's got to do with the emulsion tubes on the carbs. I haven't really dealt with side draft Dellortos a whole heap. We might not get that wave out of it perhaps, but let's start with the jets. Lean it up a little bit, lean it back to where it should be, and then go from there. Now the other interesting one is the torque curve. So here's our torque curve here. The gentleman running the dyno informed me that this dip around here is probably going to be the 4-to-1 extractors, and if we had 4-2-1, so 4-to-2-to-1, that would probably flatten that out. So here we are between 3.6 and 4.2. We might be able to get rid of that dip if we were to mod the extractors. Race car anyway, we shouldn't be below 4 anyway. You're doing something wrong with the 4AG if you're below 4 in my opinion. But this is what is interesting. 6,000 RPM, we drop off this cliff. So this is what my concern and thought was, that we're not running enough advanced timing through the rev range. This should be minimum 6.6. We should be up over here somewhere peak. So if you have a look here at 6,800 RPM, we're making far less torque than we are back here at 3.5. So really, revving the engine anywhere past 6 was a waste of time. So we were shifting at 7.6 through to 8 sometimes. It was a waste of time. We're just off in this cliff. And you'll see that when we were at the track, we were really struggling for top end speed down the straights, just because we're just trying to push the car through too much air with no torque. So this is also no good. So that's why I love the dyno, because we're getting this sort of information. Most people just want to see this one here. You know, how much power does it make? And it's just like, oh, that looks great, you know, nice big power curve, you know, everything's fantastic, but it's not. It's way too rich, it's disgusting, and your torque's absolutely junk. So these are things that we should be able to easily fix. Some jets should be fairly straightforward if I can chase them up. Dellorto parts are really hard to get. Weber's much better, so that's a concern. So yeah, let's see how we go here. If we can perhaps modify the Dizzy a touch and get our torque and our advanced ignition much nicer, and the little car should go pretty well. So small projects ahead.